Alright, now we're gonna react to... I think this is a little bit old. I don't know how old this is, but this is Flat Earth Dave, Eddie Bravo, and Alex Jones, Sam Tripoli. Hey, what's up, Marcus? Yeah, we're gonna see... Like, I got a warning. I got a strike, but it became a warning on my new YouTube channel. I'm gonna try to do this one as well on that channel, because when you get a warning, you can still stream. But let's see if they give me another strike. You know what I mean? Let's go.
For lack of a better word, we live in a realm. And it's flat and stationary, and every test that's ever been done to prove the Earth is spinning has proved that it's flat.
So what's gravity?
That it's not moving. What you're seeing is a light in the sky. You were asking me before why the deception, and the deception is to make you think that you are insignificant.
Yeah, already.
Make you think that God doesn't exist. The greatest, you know, the saying, the greatest trick the devil ever did was to prove that he didn't exist. To make you believe that it didn't exist, but the greatest trick the devil ever did was to make you think God doesn't exist.
Well, let me throw
For
this
me
in,
to say that is an amazing thing.
But I have to say the loss of confidence in the system, that more and more people do think the Earth is flat, not just, I mean, a lot of it's not my listeners, it's the general public. A lot of liberals think it's that. There's such a loss of confidence. That must really say something about the establishment, that people don't believe a damn thing they say.
Alex, the thing is, you say we think the Earth is flat. People that think the Earth is a globe have never looked into it. Ask yourself, what's one proof that you have that the Earth is a globe? And they'll come up with photos, astronauts.
By the way, listen, I've started to drink water with baking soda. Apparently really good for all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? So just pour in 1 teaspoon of baking soda every day if you can, and it will heal you headaches, rashes, cancer, all kinds of shit. Baking soda, man, changes your pH. Anyways,
you know, circumnavigation, all of these things that have been debunked, there's zero proofs that the Earth is a ball. Every test shows that it's not. When people search the flat Earth, you know, Obama mentioned the Flat Earth Society. I can't count how many times during his presidency. They want people to go to the Flat Earth Society. The Flat Earth Society is nothing to do with flat Earth. It is a controlled opposition site that if you go there, it has nonsense. It has a little bit of truth and a bunch of nonsense. And if you go there and look, you're going to turn away and never look back again, because it makes flat Earth ridiculous. We are not.
It's the first thing that comes up on Google. When you go flat Earth, they're going to take you right to the Flat Earth Society. They're going to capture curious people, and then they're going to turn everybody off. That's the plan.
Alex, why are they hiding it? You know,
why would they do that? Why would they have
you see, this is so weird. This is so weird when it comes to Alex. It's like, dude, you already know and think that the people running this place are liars, but yet you believe this shit. They're all tied together. They're all tied together. You know, once you know somebody is a big fucking liar, then everything is a lie from them. You know what I mean? They're not all of a sudden gonna tell you the truth about this shit. Come on, man. Yeah, stop with that shit, Marcus. Just pour in some baking soda, you know? Because baking soda, quickly, changes the pH in your body. And cancers and diseases and all that shit, it doesn't like that pH that the baking soda changes for you. You know, it has to be in a sour environment. Just like in the bathroom. If you don't clean it, bacteria starts to grow and shit. But when you put some Ajax and clean it, it stays away for a while. The same goes with this.
Number 1, search. Why?
Yeah.
Why, Alex? Right there. Why would they do that?
Because Google cares about us.
Yes, they do. They love us.
InfoWars.
They love us, these Stalin bastards.
The most banned network in the world.
We've told Americans space not exist. Ha ha! Eddie Bravo's our agent. China now get the moon. Ha 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 ha. No. How you say Weiss? What's his name?
David Weiss. Miami Vice.
Let's get serious. Dave Weiss is here, ladies and gentlemen. Actual footage of the eclipse I personally shot from Air Force 9, my spaceship, me and Trump, Space Force. Let's get serious for our esteemed guest. We'll be back on at a serious time when you two aren't causing problems.
Okay.
Now, seriously, though, Eddie, I used to be an amateur astronomer. Haven't had time since I've been on here 25 years. I quit it. But I'd go out and do stuff like look at a half mile away at geckos on a lamp eating bugs, because that's another fun thing about telescopes. You know, up close you like watch bugs on a leaf, a half mile away. Just really crazy stuff with these super high powered ones when the conditions are right. And I watched Jupiter orbiting. I mean, I watched it turning. It's a ball. Go ahead, sorry.
No, go. Let's introduce.
Let's do it right now.
I love Eddie. He's like, fuck talking to me. Let's just hear Flat Earth Dave speak.
From the Flat Earth Podcast, Dave, we really appreciate you coming on the broadcast. Dave came to Flat Earth the same way most people do, with the intention to debunk it. That was 6 years ago. Now he is host of the award-winning Flat Earth Podcast and the creator of the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app, the flatearthpodcast.com. So it's like, give us your awakening to this. I want to be clear. I don't think it's flat. But, you know, the media says I say that. I'm not saying that. But I think it's okay for you to question, as much as we've been lied to. How do you know it's not diamond shaped? How do you know it's not? How about we're all
Alex,
just a simulation? It's not even real.
It's the shape of the Earth that matters. But first, I want to thank you for having me on. Many years ago, you were one of the people, maybe the person that woke me up. So I thank you for that. And since then, you know, things have really spiraled out of control.
So tell us your background and how you discuss. I mean, what happened?
I did a truth podcast called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. People started sending me flat earth stuff. I wouldn't watch a single video. I wouldn't watch a 1 minute video because it's the dumbest thing in the world. You're not wasting my time with that. So then finally, another researcher, we were talking about the deceptions in the world, and she said, you know, I think it's worse than that, David. I think the Earth might be flat. I absolutely flipped out at her. She sent me some videos. I said, that's it. I'm going to debunk it. For 17 to 24 hours a day, I was trying to debunk the Earth. And after 2 weeks, I realized we don't live on a spinning rock water ball rocket. I mean, that's what you believe. You believe we live on the outside of a spinning rock, spiraling in 4 different directions at once at speeds that you can't even imagine. And then every year...
It's symbolic, isn't it? Because that's what they want you... That's the state they want you in, you know, in this confused, you know, like in a cartoon when they hit their head, they're like, you know, there's a spinning thing around their head, you know. Maybe they're trying to make fun of us, like, you fools, you believe in this spinning bullshit. You know, they want to confuse you with that bullshit. Hey, what's up, Ashraf? Are we still on YouTube? Alex is what crystal meth would sound like if it could speak. Is that what you're saying?
The stars are in the exact same place on the exact same day, right? None of it makes sense. The thing that you got to look at is there's pre-programmed responses that people have. They say, you know, where's the edge? How come no one's fallen off? Circumnavigation proves it. Boats over the curves prove the ball. You know, eclipses prove the ball. All of these things do not prove the ball. They actually prove flat Earth when you look at it. And the thing that people say is there's no proof of flat Earth and there's endless proof of the globe Earth. And the exact opposite is the true when you take the time to learn. The problem is believing lies are really easy. Sometimes I introduce myself on a show and I come up with this fake background. I went to medical school and I lost hope in allopathic medicine, and people believe it. And then 2 minutes later I tell them that was a lie. And you just believe me. So you can believe a lie. I tell you something, and then you can believe it, and your whole day is free. But if you want to know the truth on anything, it takes time and effort and critical thought.
Let me just throw this at you.
Absolutely true. It actually requires time, effort, energy. Effort, energy, same shit. You know what I mean? But a lie, it's like, okay, I take it. I take it. The Earth is a ice cream cone. Yes, it's an ice cream cone. It's shaped like an ice cream. Okay, I buy it. Hey, what's up, Canadian? The stars alone prove the Earth is not spinning. But what is their bullshit claim? They're saying, let me see if I remember it correctly. No, it's because those stars are so far away. We're talking gazillion miles. Bazillion, gazillion, drazillion miles away. Therefore, it doesn't matter how much we rotate and spin around the sun and the sun travels and all that shit. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change that perspective. That shit still stays the same. You see, when they're trying to make sense of their bullshit, they come up with these ridiculous, unbelievable highlight unbelievable stuff to back up their bullshit. You know what I mean? Oh, the sun and the moon, they seem to be the same size. Well, yes, they do. But that's because the sun is 400 times further away and 400 times bigger. That's why they're the same size. You know, these bullshit excuses.
Let them talk.
What about I offered Eddie to fund a project with a research ship, and then we
Alex.
could just go to the end of it. Where's the
I don't understand this with Alex. If anybody would know, it would be him. That you can't explore freely. What do you think? This is a free world? You can just go to wherever you want? You just point to the video where these people on the boat tried to go to Antarctica or wherever it was from Australia. And quickly a fucking military boat showed them that they're slaves and turned them back into the prison plane. The prison plane. This is all you got, you slaves. Yeah, go back. Just like the movie with Jim Carrey, Truman Show. Go back. What do you think? You're free? Get the fuck out of here.
wall? You're going to say Antarctic?
You know, if it was a free world, that same military boat would be like, oh, these people are just casual people exploring. Yeah, we're just checking that you're not terrorists. Yeah, continue, explore. Do you need some gasoline for your boat? In case you run out of gasoline while you're exploring? Now that would be fair. That would be like, okay, maybe it is a free world, but it ain't. They could clearly see that those people on that boat were just some, surfer guys or something. I don't know. Just exploring. There's nothing dangerous about them. They're not, traveling on a military boat trying to do some weird shit in Antarctic.
Yeah, so just look at the Earth this way. People say, why are all the other planets round and why is the Earth the only disk in space? The Earth is not a disk in space. The way I look at it is the Earth, the flat plane of the Earth, is the basement of the universe. It's the only way I can describe it. And we live in a pond. Imagine a giant circular lake in Kansas with islands in it, and in the center of the lake is the North Pole.
You live in a cage.
Well, no, hold on, not in a cage. Just hear me out. I'll make this short. So you have the center of the lake is the North Pole. You have islands you could sail around clockwise, counterclockwise. That's east and west. If you sail away from the center at any point, that's south. And when you get to the shoreline, that's the end of the Earth that we know of. That's the shoreline of Antarctica. Antarctica is the highest land on Earth.
Hold on. I just saw this on Twitter. Hold on, let me pull it up. Regarding this shit. What is it? Bookmarks. Hold on. Now, I don't know if this is true, but it's whack as hell, man. Regarding the moon. Here it is. Look at this. You see this? Regarding the moon. I may have to make it. So there is this model of the Earth that they have. Why isn't it is it showing the whole? Yeah, so you got the moon, and it fits almost perfectly with this model of Earth. You see that? Like, is that fucker some kind of I don't know, reflection kind of a thing? But in that case, it seems like it's doing a reflection. Like if you look at the continents, the continents become black on the moon, and then you know, the waters and the ice or whatever becomes white? Is it like the opposite? Fuck, I don't know. It's weird. The guide stones with the North Star always there should prove that it wouldn't matter how far the stars are. Why were they? Yes, that's weird, right? That they took down the guide stones. I hope that was a good thing that happened. What's up, George? Hey, George, you're from Canada. Canada too. But yeah, this shit is weird. Anyways, just wanted to point that out.
Is the shoreline of the world ocean lake, I'll call it. And there is lots of it is a cliff, not a wall where you can jump over and jump into space.
You're saying we're in a terrarium.
Well, so here's the thing. Some people say there's a dome. Some people say there isn't a dome. Some people say there's more lands, more worlds, more suns across the plane. But the truth is, we don't know. We're not allowed to go there.
Well, the ancients,
And again, this would be easily solved by letting people actually explore, right? Instead of coming up with military boats and saying, get the fuck back. Get back, slave. Who do you think you are? We own you. Get the fuck back, man. Yeah, you're on a boat. Yeah, we allow you to be on a boat, but you think you can go wherever you want? Get the fuck out of here, you slave. Another dimension, perhaps. What do you mean? On the moon? I don't know, but it did look like it was reflecting that same map right there. What is this place? Huh? What is this place?
The Bible says the earth's round, but then if you go back, a lot of the ancients after that debate said it was flat, and then I guess it was Copernicus, Galileo. When did they start saying it was round? And but Jesuits.
They started, so the whole, so
Let him talk.
saying that the Bible has, look up a video called 200 Proofs, 200 Bible Verses that says the earth is flat. There are 200 verses that talk about flat earth. I believe there's one that says the circle of the earth. Well, my dining room table is a circle and it's not a sphere. Okay, so that, and it has it's a footstool. You know, if you look at if you want to quote the Bible, the footstool of the earth.
So why would the establishment try to keep something 1 trillion times bigger than Manhattan Project secret?
Oh yeah, hold on. I got another one. Hold on. Let me find it. I know I bookmarked that shit. I love the bookmarks, by the way, on Twitter. There was somebody doing a thing on a table. Where are you? Where are you? The table. Where is the table? Ah, here it is. Look at this. Look at this. This is on a table, okay? Do you see this? This is just somebody pulling this boat back on a flat table. Look.
And go.
Look how it looks like. It looks like it's going around the curve.
Ship going over the curve and the sun setting.
Right? Look.
Perfect.
And that's on a level.
On a flat.
You see? It goes to the side.
Pull it back. Do me a favor. Just pull it back like without. That's the table.
See that?
And go.
Did you see that? This alone destroys the ballers. This alone. You see? She's pulling it back on the table. Bye bye bye. What was that? NSYNC. Bye bye bye.
Can we answer that a little bit later? Because you're jumping forward past, you know, you're looking for a motive. Like if you saw somebody light 50 houses on fire and there's all the evidence in the world, but you couldn't figure out a motive, does that mean he didn't do it? So I'd be guessing at the motive, but I have a good guess, and I believe it's right on why they did it. But let's do that later. Let's get through some of the points.
Well, I don't
right?
want a world government to keep independent nations from ever figuring stuff out. They certainly suppress a lot of stuff, and they got a project to kill everybody. And I mean that's a fact.
Right.
Let him talk.
Eddie.
If you don't know who you are, if you believe that we live on the outside of a rock, that nothing exploded, created everything, and then a microbe turned into a fish that climbed out of the water, happened to find another fish that it can mate with to make a monkey, and then a monkey, farted, and there's our humans.
They don't want us to know who we are.
Right. They don't want you to know who we are, that there's no shortage of anything, that there's possibly, very likely, more land, more resources than they're telling us. There's hidden
So it's
land.
a whole other giant dimension, and we're actually locked in here as an experiment.
I don't believe that at all. I believe that we live, for lack of a better word, we live in a realm. And it's flat and stationary, and every test that's ever been done to prove the Earth is spinning has proved that it's flat.
So what's gravity?
That it's not moving. Good.
What's gravity?
So gravity, a lot of flat earthers will say gravity is just buoyancy and density. And if there was such a thing as gravity, buoyancy and density are a thing. But gravity, the Earth plane is a negatively charged plane. This is a proven fact. The sky above us, whatever it is up there, is positively charged. So the negative charge of the Earth is establishing it down, and then buoyancy and density sort of.
Listen, I'm no expert at these things, positive and negative. But if you look at the lightning bolt from the sky to the ground, right? Right?
Everything out.
Let me throw this at you then. Everybody's probably seen William Shatner voiced it. It's Trinity and Beyond. And I was already aware of this, but back in the 90s, I saw the footage of it from the U.S. government where they did over 1,000 detonations trying to blow up the atmosphere and ignite it.
Project Fishbowl.
Yeah, and that would have killed us. And trying to blow a hole through the Van Allen radiation belt to get through it because the probes couldn't get through. So,
also, one thing. I don't know if this is correct or not. I don't give a fuck. I ask questions no matter how stupid they might be. Isn't the air very thin up there, when you actually go up there? Flat or not, ball or flat, whatever. It's thinning. The air is thinning up there, right? How do they still, thrusting through the rocket, through that shit when there's barely no air there? Air there. How do they do that? How? Right? And then what? Once they are in space, how do they, thrust through the space? When there's absolutely no air in their space, right? In their bullshit story space. I call it, this whole space Earth thing, ball thing, I call it Santa Claus for adults. Because that is what it is. It's just as ridiculous as Santa Claus.
Crazy, you realize, what were they trying to blast through? I mean, why would you do that? Go ahead.
Well, so there's never in science can you have high pressure next to a vacuum. It can never happen unless there's a physical barrier. So they tell us space is the vacuum of space. I don't think
So what would the
space is a
hydrogen
vacuum.
bombs do that they launched up into the atmosphere and detonated?
I don't believe that they were hydrogen bombs. That's a whole nother thing. They were trying to blow through it, and they couldn't. I wasn't there, so I'd rather not really dig
there
in.
you go. Great statement.
Yeah. So
I know folks that were there.
How do you know?
On the Apollo.
Let's say they were, Alex. Let's say they were, and they threw 500 bombs up there. Okay, that works on a flat Earth. That works on a ball Earth. Who the heck knows what's going on? None of that proves anything. So.
I was giving that to your theory, like they were trying to blast their way through it. So here's the deal: are they working
Maybe they
with
were.
whoever knows it is outside it in your theory? Because that sounds like they're trying to keep us from knowing it. And you're just like,
It's the biggest deception in the world. Before flat Earth, I was an atheist. I believed in evolution. I wouldn't listen to anything that had anything to do with God.
Tell us about when we come back. Dave
Yeah,
Weiss brings us in.
atheism is really bad. I was one too. You're just prone to do bad shit as an atheist. Bad judgment, bad actions, It's just all around bad. But when you're an atheist, you think it's a good thing. You think you're in the smart team. Like, oh, I'm not these dummies that believes in fairy tales like religion. While I myself believe in this bullshit Santa Claus for adults, thinking I'm smart as an atheist. No, you're dumb as fuck as an atheist. Dumb as fuck. Including myself. I was dumb as fuck while I was an atheist.
Into deep purpose.
I mean, I was still smart, but overall, I was dumb.
Space trucking. And the leader of 10th Planet, which doesn't exist, Eddie Bravo's here with us. Eddie's been ranting during the break, and I said, why don't you do it on air? What I'm getting at is I think it's very healthy to question reality. I know that it's pushed by Silicon Valley that everything's digital. This is a simulation, and none of it's real. So we just give up and don't care.
So. Yeah.
So why is that acceptable and being taught as a religion and that humans are bad, roll over and die for the post-human world? But if you question the Earth or space or any of this, then you are a bad person. I don't think that's the case. But you've been bullying me a bit during the break that I think it's silly. Because also, you don't believe me that I watched Jupiter orbit and took photos of it.
I believe you, Alex. I don't know why, but I do.
And you don't believe?
Can I comment on that?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
All right, so you took photos of Jupiter, and what you saw was a light in the sky with some other lights moving around it. That is the only thing that we can say about celestial objects, is that they're lights in the sky. We don't know how big they are. We don't know how far they are. We don't even know if they're solid objects. The pictures.
I mean, I could see the great eye. I could drive out to Lano outside Austin in the winter with no light pollution. Sit back, because my uncle lived down the street. Me and my dad would go visit. We'd sit there and drink a 6-pack of beer, share it, and sit there and take photos. We'd be out there like 4 or 5 hours, and you could see it orbiting. You could see the moons moving. They're round.
So hang on. I agree. I agree, but what you're seeing is lights. We don't know what they are. When you say moons, those are tiny little lights around it, and we don't know how far they are. If you ask, the sun is supposedly 93 million miles away, but nobody knows how that was ever calculated.
Guys,
Who
let's show some
calculated?
footage of the sun.
Yeah, and why just 93,000 miles? And what was it? Was it the sun that spun around, or was it we who spun around the sun at 66.6? That's a nice number, huh? 66.6. Of all of the numbers, it just happened to be 666. Is that, is there a rule set to this reality that the devil has to put its mark on the lies? Yes, this was left by the devil, 666, and you're too dumb to figure it out. Why not 548 or whatever number? 666. Yeah.
Him. Let him talk. Man, you're bullying
I want to
him,
just address a couple things that you said before.
I just
NASA,
roll some footage of the sun. Go ahead.
NASA never uses the word photo. They say image or picture. And we know what images and pictures are, and it's exactly what they give us. When you take, our optics with these super zoom cameras now have outgrown their lies. And we can zoom in on stars and see that they're energetic balls of energy with different patterns and stuff in them. All the stuff you're seeing here is supplied by NASA.
Yeah, back this animation up they're showing. That's an animation.
Animation.
Roll it. I know it is. Roll it.
And you know how NASA's always coming up, hey, we found this deep space object. On Halloween, they found an asteroid that looks like a skull, and the sunspots looked like a jack-o'-lantern on the sun. Do you believe that stuff? I mean, they are laughing in our faces. Getting back to what you were saying,
why would
they lie?
I have a big green filter that I used to look at the sun more than anything through my 12-inch
and what you're seeing is a light in the sky.
What are you at Subway?
Let him talk. Let the guy talk.
Yeah. What you're seeing is a light in the sky. You were asking me before why the deception, and the deception is to make you think that you are insignificant, make you think that God doesn't exist. The greatest, the saying that.
And also, I would add, some subconscious belief that these people, they're like superhuman. These people, these NASA scientists, they know shit that you couldn't ever be able to comprehend, That puts them on a pedestal subconsciously for the slaves, us, the slaves. They're above us. They're superhumans. They figure out shit like this. They travel to space and land on Mars and figure out the distance between the sun and the moon and the galaxies and all that shit, man, they're superior to us. We should listen to them, you know. We are under them. They're the authority, so we should obey. We should obey, man. I don't know, man. We should just obey them, okay? They're above us, okay? You know what I mean? It's just like when you put somebody on a pedestal, when you try to get with a girl or something. You will never get that girl when you put her on a pedestal, ever. You know, it's just will not work.
The greatest trick the devil ever did was to prove that he didn't exist. To make you believe that he didn't exist, but the greatest trick the devil ever did was to make you think God doesn't exist.
Well, let me throw
For
this
me
in
to
then.
say that is an amazing thing.
Sure.
That's so true. So true. I've said this too. Like, if the devil and God are real, which they are, the devil can never compete with God. Who can, right? God is the ultimate winner of every competition, every way. Nobody can compete, right? The devil can't compete. So what does the devil have to do? Knowing that? Have to hide God. Otherwise, nobody would ever turn to the devil. Ever.
I know the
my life
globalists are trying to
changed
build
since I
a
found
false reality and insert us into it. Currently, that's what they want, is into virtual reality. They want to take us out of this reality into that. Are you saying
That's
we're
true,
already
too.
in that reality, already in a false reality?
This reality that, you know, the world is a stage is an understatement. Everything that's presented to us is complete and utter nonsense. Here's the thing. Again, as I said in the beginning, you know, truth is the enemy of knowing. Lies are easy. You just lie. Okay, I believe it. But if you want to know the truth, you got to take the time and effort. And where can you go? You used to be able to go to YouTube and type in flat Earth, and you'd come up with all of these videos. Now they've
Look at that egg-shaped
change the
ball.
algorithms. It's all hidden. When I upload a video, I have all my subs. None of them get notified anymore. If you try to find my channel,
No,
unless
I know. We know all about the censorship.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
eagle versus serpent. Knowledge is
I came up-
power.
right. I have a challenge for people.
It
The
is.
Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. It's $3. It's super cheap. It cost me a ton of money to make, and I didn't make it to make money. I made it to
No, I got
bypass
to feed
YouTube's
yourself putting
algorithm.
out your cosmology. Well, which I think is healthy to question everything. Cosmology means worldview.
The point of the app, every day I serve a new video on it. That it's a short video during the week, longer ones on the weekend, and I challenge people, if they watch the video every day for 2 weeks, they will know that the Earth is not a ball, and they will dig deeper, and it bypasses YouTube's recommendations. Like if you watch a video that debunks something NASA did or debunks the spinning ball, the next video is the opposite of that, served by YouTube. But the app takes that away because it's feeding you playlists.
No, I understand.
And
we'll plug your stuff more, and I want to go look at it myself. But just, again, from your research, if you guys are right, is it other humanoids controlling us? Or, I mean, what would it be? Why would they want to, and why would the people on this planet, the scientific establishment, try to keep us from the fact that we're really somebody's hamster?
Didn't Epstein blackmail all these scientists? We were talking about that yesterday.
Yes,
so science is corruptible, right?
And there's also there's people that are just don't know. They're brainwashed, and they believe that, you know, people that are doing extraterrestrial research, you know, aliens, extraterrestrials, think of the word, the etymology, extraterrestrial, extra territory. They're coming from the extra lands beyond where we're allowed to go. I believe, don't have any proof, it's my opinion, that there are extraterrestrials, but they're not a spaceship a flight away, light years away. They're a day trip on a commercial airliner away. And we just don't have access to those
And the
lands.
globalists have treaties with them not to blow us up.
Well, you know, no
And
one
they
is
think
allowed to
there's too
independently.
many of us, so they're getting ready to kill us because the guys next door have more advanced technology. Our elite's going to go hang out with them, but we've got to all die as the cost of it.
If you
Because that's actually the
want to
plan
go,
being made. Satan's made a deal. This isn't flat Earth. This is the elites believe off-world entities, interdimensional, have made deals with them, and as long as they kill everybody, they get to be the new gods. Now that's an official globalist view.
or maybe the official globalist glue. I can't speak. The official globalist
Got an alien inside
idea,
you,
whatever.
you say it.
I just lost my words. Is that those aliens are here, not from outer space? It's all here. Thanks, Alex.
I'm just having some fun. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Eddie's about to kill me.
Well, I mean, it's like, come on, dude. You believe everything's a lie.
You challenge me to a battle?
You believe everything's a lie by the media, but you believe this one thing. It's like,
You know, this is, I don't know if Alex is doing this just to make sure that they don't lump him in as a flat earther or what. Or if he's doing that sincerely, it's kind of ridiculous because that's the same way normies would treat Alex regarding, you know, the towers and shit like that. You know what I mean? What's up, Shaggy? Shaggy? Are you Mr. Lover Lover? Wasn't his name Shaggy? Mr. Lover Lover. Bombastic, tell me I'm fantastic. That guy. Or is it Shaggy from Scooby-Doo?
like, how do you believe this one thing from the media, but you don't believe anything else?
Just
Alex?
because they're lying about chemtrailing. Oh, let me ask you this. They now admit, sir, that they are manipulating the atmosphere and the weather, and that we were all right about that. How does that fit into this?
Yeah, well, think about it. If you're trying to manipulate the weather on a spinning ball with a vacuum over a pressurized atmosphere, how does that work? If we are in an enclosed system, probably a lot easier to manipulate the weather. I don't know exactly what all the spraying in the sky is about. There's probably multiple reasons.
Well, they say they're
Again,
saving
it's
the
above my
Earth.
head. I'm not there.
Saving the
Hey,
earth.
Say that again?
real quick, if I, and I'm just trying to ask questions of skeptics right here. If I say I fly around the world, what is actually happening?
Right. So people have only circumnavigated east and west. East and west are circles around the center point. If you were 1 mile from the North Pole, your compass is pointing to the North Pole, and you wanted to go east, you have to keep that compass pointing to the North Pole. 3.14 miles later, you're back to where you
What
started
if
from.
I
You
chartered an
circumnavigate.
airplane in the summer, landed in Antarctica, and then asked them to fly over the rest of it? Let's say I flew down from Chile,
Yep.
and then I said, now I'm going to fly back over and go over to South Africa.
Right. So if you look at on the app, there's a frequently asked questions called circumnavigation, and it shows that it's never been done. Billions of people have done it east and west. People have gone over the north to the other side, but no one has gone south and come back up the other side because you can't. The Earth is flat.
Alex, why don't you
Bam.
fund that? Why don't you fund somebody going
Alex,
to
you can
the
fund
south?
it, but it will never happen. You won't be able to go. They had a flight last year. They took money for it, and then it disappeared, and it never happened because
Can I have a document
it can't
shot,
happen.
please? Well, I think this is the ultimate quest, and I'll get on a plane with a bunch of you guys, and we'll go down there.
No, you go.
Alex, I got a better idea.
Here's the Earth real quick.
I
You're saying it's
convince you
flat,
that the Earth is
and
flat.
so we basically just sail around in circles instead of like, because again, you could go to South America and then fly south, and then I guess come back up on the other side of the planet
That never happens.
and come back up
Never
to
done.
Australia.
You just haven't looked into it. That never happens. That never happens. They just doesn't happen.
never-
Look at the
happens.
circumnavigation videos on the Flat Earth Podcast website or on the app, and you'll see how they've been faking
Well, listen,
it.
what we'll do is, this is important enough. How about we have you come in studio? I'll fly you here. You can load all the graphics and stuff in here, and then you can convince me of this because you've
I got a
already...
better idea.
You got him.
In Dallas, Texas, on November 14th and 15th, this is the Flat Earth International Conference, fe2019.com. You're invited.
Dude, it's
I have a
a party
VIP ticket
tonight.
for you, and it's 2 days. And you will see, you will be, nobody, the ballers walk in, but they don't walk out. Okay? Flat Earth International
We're gonna
Conference,
go to break.
November
You can nice
14th
plug
and
in.
15th
They
in
disappeared.
Dallas.
Stay there. We're going to come back for a little while, and then I've got Dr. Nick Begich, who exposed HARP and globalism and the New World Order and the plan with the 5G 20 years before. We'll want to get his take on this. Like, let's bring Begich in instead of 15 after. Let's bring him in at 6 after and get his take on this. Have a big roundtable, but keep our esteemed guest, Dave Weiss, the FlatEarthPodcast.com with us. Don't forget, I have the new 51st state T-shirts where the astronauts going to get the moon for the 51st state. That funds our operation, and all the big sales have to end this Sunday. InfoWarsStore.com. 50%
Is
off.
that
You know,
why?
Things like Super Male Vitality, get a free bottle of Ultimate Female
Is that why he's so against it? He got this bullshit astronaut suit on a t-shirt. And also, I don't understand why he's using the NASA t-shirt. I've been seeing him using the NASA t-shirt all over the place. Alex Jones. What's up with that? What's up, Wazim? Are you a bot? I'm a new here, guys. Please support me. I was starting a new channel. Please do watch. But why? Why should they watch it? Just because you're a new channel. I'm a new channel too, but I don't beg people to support this channel. They have to support it if they like it. So what are you doing? All you're saying is I'm starting a new channel. Please watch. What are you doing videos on cats? Like, what are you doing?
Of course, that funds our operation. Thanks to you all. Stay with us. Hour number 4, straight ahead.
But that's
well,
why
we're having a
pushing some
uniquely
bullshit
American, uniquely
astronaut
human
shit.
discussion here today. Going back,
That's
a
probably
1,000
why.
years ago, they would debate whether the Earth was flat or whether the Earth was round. And if you said it was round, you get put in prison. Nowadays, I guess you just get shadow banned on YouTube if you say that it's flat.
And why?
It's gotten really hot. I have a lot of people ask me questions
Why
about
do you
it.
get shadow banned?
And, I have observed the universe through a telescope myself, and I understand how, in the scheme of time, that you get a rock and then it orbits the sun.
You've seen the universe through a telescope.
It's in that position, but it itself's rotating and gravity. And I know about cell phones and missiles and computers and all the things that are going on. But I don't think it's bad to question the nature of reality. And so that's what I've been saying. Dave Weiss, the Flat Earth Podcast, is here with us. And we have Eddie Bravo. And, of course, we have Sam Tripoli. But I have to say the loss of confidence in the system, that more and more people do think the Earth is flat, not just, a lot of it's not my listeners, it's the general public. A lot of liberals think it's that. There's such a loss of confidence. That must really say something about the establishment, that people don't believe a damn thing they say.
Alex, the thing is, you say we think the Earth is flat. People that think the Earth is a globe have never looked into it. Ask yourself, what's one proof that you have that the Earth is a globe? And they'll come up with photos, astronauts, just circumnavigation, all of these things that have been debunked. There's zero proofs that the Earth is a ball. Every test shows that it's not.
Let me just. What does astro mean? Meaning astro. Relating to the stars or celestial objects. So that's what astro means. So could it be that they just added a not, like it's not true or something like that? Astronaut. I don't know.
Okay,
Just
tell me these
speculating
tests.
my ass
Tell me
off
these
here.
tests.
Pardon me?
Tell me these tests.
So on any ball would have spherical geometry, and the agreed upon formula for testing, the few thousand miles is 8 inches per mile squared. Because as you go across, the drop-off drops more and more. So at 10 miles, there should be 66 feet of curvature. A 6 foot tall person, 6 foot tall person standing at the water's edge, the horizon should be 3 miles away, and then it should drop down. But we can see hundreds of miles with today's optics. We could see things that are hundreds, that should be miles below the curvature. We can see the entire thing. It all has to do with optics, angular size, density of the atmosphere.
I sat there at the beach with a set of super high-powered binoculars. I got some big old giant ones somewhere. I can dig those out.
What is
really
he,
good at
Rambo?
Optics and things. And I've sat there on a beach house when it's a clear day and watched ships go over the horizon. So I'm 30 feet above sea level, and I've got big binoculars.
Alex, we just proved that bullshit right here on a flat table. Right here, man. Right here. She's just pulling it back. She's just pulling that shit back on a flat table. It looks like it's a fucking curve, but it ain't. It ain't, son. It ain't. It ain't.
Tripod. I'm watching that ship, and then I'm watching it go over the horizon.
So the way,
No, you're not.
The way that works, there's a couple things that make that happen. As your angular view of the floor, you have a steep angle to the floor. But if you're looking at something a mile away, that angle gets smaller and smaller and smaller. As you go out farther into the water, let's assume it's a calm day and there's no waves blocking your view. That angle becomes a mirage, and the ship goes right into the mirage. Most of the time, when you think you see a ship go over the horizon, you take a super zoom camera and you zoom in, and there it is again. It's back. But it doesn't matter if, and it will disappear from the bottom up into the mirage, or, there's several other things.
This. Okay, all these governments, 100 and something
Look
governments.
at Eddie. He's like, why the fuck are you interrupting him? Look at that. Did you see that quick stare from Eddie?
Let me ask you this. Okay, all these governments, 100 and something governments, 170 governments or so,
Or one
government
government.
that have giant,
One
military
government.
aircraft, all this stuff. They're all working together to cover up that we're in this bowl.
So, Alex, the way I look at it, Russia and the United States during the Cold War, how many people died? How many skirmishes were there? I believe that war is just a construct to divide and separate us.
Proxy wars, millions died.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing is wars are just to divide and conquer us. These countries. Did you watch the moon landing of the Israel tried it the other day and India? It's a joke. It's a cartoon. It's ridiculous. So we're going into a break.
Go back in 60 seconds.
The censorship is real.
Yeah. Truth
there's
and
people
boner
online
pill.
that think when we go to break, it's to cover something up. There's set times with the satellites that are in space going around the globe.
Oh, the satellites in space, huh, Alex?
Yeah, they're not real either. This electricity isn't real. Man, the system has really screwed the pooch with its lying. Now the public doesn't believe anything, including fighting their own ass in the dark. Good Lord, this is ridiculous.
Do you hear that? He's making fun of it.
Live to the flat pancake, somewhere in a dimension. Inside the bowl. Inside the reptoid's terrarium. Listeners, I promise to shake the show up in some ways. It's good to have free-thinking debates, and I'm not trying to get in a fight with Eddie Bravo or the high priest of flat earthness, Dave Weiss, the Flat Earth podcast. I should go up to the Dallas Flat Earth Symposium and shoot a report. That would be entertaining and interesting because I want to be convinced of this, and then I'm going to be the one that, gets the plane during the summer, and then we just fly across Antarctica.
See, this is the weird thing about Alex Jones and David Icke. They're the most ridiculed people on Earth. They got literally nothing to lose if they, latch on to this. Nothing. Everybody still thinks both of them are crazy nutcases. Yet, both of them, they're having a hard time with this flat Earth thing. That's fucking weird, man.
Debunk all this forever.
That'll never happen.
It'd be a top History Channel, Discovery Channel show.
I'll put $1,000 on right now. I'll put 1 Bitcoin on right now, Alex Jones, that you do not do that.
I'll double that.
1 Bitcoin.
Okay, I'm going to reach out. We'll have to fly down to Chile. We'll have to get the expedition, and we're going to fly across Antarctica to the other side, and then you're going to say it's fake.
Dave, explain to him how that's never going to happen. Explain. They're not going to
Alex,
let you.
it never happened. If you look in the Guinness Book of World Record for south-north circumnavigation, the flight goes down to, I believe it goes down through Santiago, Chile. It touches Antarctica, and then it doubles back and comes back and goes up to the North Pole. That's not circumnavigation.
Tell them what the
That's
search
going
engine,
out to the edge and back to the middle.
Again? Tell us what the search engine will show it.
No, he said the Guinness Book of Records.
I know, but we can show that.
The Guinness Book of Records. They gave the record to circumnavigation, and when you actually look at the path they took,
search engine,
it's not.
Aerial circumnavigation of the globe. Now I know how Magellan did it.
Explain Magellan.
Well, he was part of the
let me bring up another thing. People say we've known the Earth is a ball, is a sphere for 500 years. Aristophanes figured it out with sticks and shadows. That's nonsense. Aristophanes didn't show up in any literature until the 1980s, right? And in 1900, teachers were being persecuted that were trying to teach heliocentrism in class. Everyone knew that the Earth was flat in the early 1900s. It only took a couple generations to change us, start a couple wars, get people focused on other things.
Stop you there. All I know is AP ran a headline that I wrote a book about Sandy Hook and lost a suit. I never wrote the book. I'm not in the book. We contacted them and they said, we don't care. It stays out. And now I don't even know anymore. They lie so much. I mean, the level of lies is insane.
You can't believe this.
So, but why do you believe this then? Why do you believe the ball
Because
thing?
now the head of Bank of America said 2 years ago that the world doesn't exist and we're inside Silicon already. I mean, my God, this is all insane. Now there's not even a world period. It's a matrix, and I'm...
That has nothing to do with flat Earth. Simulation is totally different.
Hey,
right.
How do you prove it's not just a simulation?
Well, this one I actually believe in. I actually think this is a simulation. It's a supercomputer made by God. I believe that. VR headsets prove that. Because once you put on a VR headset, your brain actually thinks it's in a virtual reality. And that, to me, is proof enough that we are in one already.
There's mathematical calculations.
There's no proof of it.
I'm being sarcastic.
That works on a ball Earth and a flat Earth. Doesn't matter. It doesn't prove either.
Is the HBO show Baller part of subliminal programming to make people ballers?
I wouldn't doubt it.
And
Think about the Rock's head. How round is that? All part of the game.
Talk about the Flat Earth Society. Talk about that.
Yeah, right. So when people search the flat Earth, Obama mentioned the Flat Earth Society. I can't count how many times during his presidency. They want people to go to the Flat Earth Society. The Flat Earth Society is nothing to do with flat Earth. It is a controlled opposition site that if you go there, it has nonsense. It has a little bit of truth and a bunch of nonsense. And if you go there and look, you're going to turn away and never look back again
because the best lies has to have truth in them. You have to have truth in it. Otherwise, it won't work. The best lies have to have truth in it. And what they're talking about with this Flat Earth Society, it's a captured thing, captured operation, or whatever you want to call it. They captured something that is threatening to them. They capture it, mess it around, spin it, give you some truth in it, and then give you the bullshit needed for you to not believe in that shit. What's up, Say Ray? This is a simulation, but we are spirits in a physical body, and these demon lizard people always lie. I completely agree. I agree. We are not our body, for sure. I always put this example, like when you're sleeping in your bed, and you're dreaming that you're somewhere, you're surfing somewhere. In your dream, you're actually thinking that you are surfing that wave. But we know that your body is 100% in that bed. Like if you went to sleep and I was awake, and you were surfing and I was awake, I can see your body over there. You're not surfing at all. You're lying there, But that to me proves that you're not your body, because your whatever, spirit, consciousness, whatever, is switching the channel to that surfing reality, whatever the fuck that is. And for that moment, that is your reality. That is your world. For that moment, whatever, how long that is. And then you switch right back into your body again. You flip the channel back. That's all it is. When we dream, we speak to God. That's in the Bible. We are very alive and cognizant while sleeping. Might be God, I don't know. God knows. I love saying that. God knows. If there's anything that knows, it's God, and God alone, that knows everything. Who knows, though? What if it's a fucking demon realm or something? I think I've heard somebody say that when you're in the dream state, that is where the devil can actually try to figure shit out about you. Because what I've realized about dreams is it's like a realm that gets updated. Like, let's say you meet somebody in this world that you didn't know the day before. Somebody new. And then after a while, that person now can enter your dream because of your interaction in this world with that person. That to me kind of indicates that realm in the dream world it gets its updates from this world into that realm. And who knows, maybe in the dream world, the devil tries to pick your mind. Maybe it can't do it in this world, but it can maybe do it in that world. And fuck, I don't know. I'm just speculating. You know what I mean? Maybe you're right. I don't know. But I will always speculate. You know what I mean? Speculate and analyze and question. You know what I mean? I think God would want you to question everything. And we're talking everything, because you don't know what the devil is capable of. You know what I mean? Or at least you should not underestimate what the devil is capable of. That's my philosophy. Because who knows? Who knows what capabilities that motherfucker has? You know what I mean? I'm not underestimating that fucker. Just to be certain. We have access to other realms and dimensions while sleeping. We can have an actual vision or encounter while in REM dream state. I've had demon slayer dreams before, and my husband told me I was stomp. What do you mean by stomp? It's a weird realm, though, isn't it? It doesn't really, it's not exactly like this realm. In that realm, it feels like almost anything is possible, you know? And I don't know if it's even 3D, you know what I mean? I think it might be 4 dimensions or some shit like that. What I mean by that is, with the 4th dimension or 5th, I don't know what you want to call it. But you know, when you can enter a room and then you can be in a totally different room. You know what I mean? Like, you can enter something and then all of a sudden you're in a completely different place. You know what I mean? Stomping and kicking in my sleep. Okay. I got it. My husband told me I was stomping and kicking in my sleep. Yeah. It has some connection to this world, it seems like. You know, another thing I realized during one dream that I reminded myself to not forget once I woke up. It was that I was actually hearing music in that realm. I remember it clearly. Because when I woke up, I was like, fuck, I heard music over there. And then I told myself, remind yourself about this because, you know, I think it's important. Remind yourself that you just heard music over there. How the fuck did I do that? And what is music anyways? Quickly on this, and then I'm going to continue. You know, in your head, you can, like, let's say one of your favorite songs. You can pull it up in your head and kind of hear it. Do you know what I mean? Like, kind of hear the song, kind of hear the voice, the lyrics, and all of it in your head, even though you're not really hearing it. You know what I mean? But you can, right now I can hear, let's say, Michael Jackson's Earth song. That thing. I can pull it up right now in my head and hear it, even though it's not playing anywhere. You know, it's weird. It was so real, probably 4th dimension, because I was in a spirit realm and saw people's spirit. I was in a glorious light and walking into darkness with no fear. Yeah, I've been hearing something about, you know, people having near-death experiences. There was one guy who said he had one of those near-death experiences. And eventually, once he thought he was dead, he got a complete calmness to himself. Like, there was absolute stillness and calmness coming to him. And I wonder if that's because, let's say, when you're dead, you're maybe exiting the video game. You know, you're leaving the all of the senses of this reality and realizing it's just a game. And with that goes everything. The fear, you know, the fear that is tied to that virtual reality just disappears because you're realizing it's just a fucking video game, you know? Who knows? Who knows? Music accesses all areas of the brain. Dementia patients can become lucid if they hear songs from their youth. They light up like Rip Van Winkle. Yeah, I've seen something about that. I've seen a video of an old lady that used to be a great piano player, but she had dementia. But they took her to a piano, and she was starting to play again. Like, she couldn't do anything else, but she went to the piano. They took her to the piano, and she was starting to play piano again. Music is way more powerful than we think.
That makes Flat Earth ridiculous. We are
It's the
not.
first-
It's the first thing that comes up on Google. You go
language of
flat
God,
Earth, they're
I
going to
would
take you
say,
right to the
maybe.
Flat Earth Society. They're going to capture curious people, and then they're going to turn everybody off. That's the plan.
Alex, why are they hiding it? You know,
Why would they do
they're
that?
not
Why would they have a
hiding
Flat
Bigfoot
Earth
and
Society
aliens?
#1 search? Why?
Yeah,
Why, Alex?
Right there. Why would they do that?
Because Google cares about us.
Alex.
Exactly.
And
And they
anybody
care about our
listening to
teeth,
this
too. That's what the fluoride's about.
anyone that's getting just a little curious, like, okay, I want to figure this out. If you Google flat Earth, you're not going to figure it out. You got to go to sites like Jeranism.com. Great videos.
Spell it.
ODE Reality. He's really put together some amazing stuff. There's if you want the biblical side, Woketown, another amazing site, or my channel, DITRH, stands for Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. DITRH on YouTube.
I always
have
wonder
all
what it
short videos there. If you can't remember any of
stood
that,
for.
just go to the flatearthpodcast.com video page, and it's all there.
Okay, well, I'm going to look more into this, and I get people have a right to question whatever they want. I'm not endorsing this because the media is going to lie and say that. But they've lied to us so much. This is what they've done to people's brains. And look, I think you guys are being scientific. It's good to do this. It's good to question. This has been a debate forever here on the planet. But do we have Dr. Nick Baggage yet?
Plain.
Okay, he's ready. Thanks. That's all I need to know. Let's bring Dr. Nick Begich on, who exposed the HARP weather modification, exposed the plan for the cell towers to control the brain, thousands of things. Of course, his brother's been a U.S. senator. His father, a famous congressman that freed up the land in Alaska. He's a real scientist, a real researcher, best-selling author, filmmaker. And he's normally hosting the fourth hour, and the fifth hour would be going into Owen Schroyer here on the show. But right now we're co-hosting with Dr. Nick Begich. Dr. Begich, what do you think about this whole flat Earth phenomenon, hysteria, craze? Is it like the Great Tulip bubble? I mean,
who knows? I don't know. It's not my my issue. But years ago, somebody sent me a packet of articles out of the New York Times from like the early 1900s, from when they were doing the Arctic expeditions and so on. And the things that were reported then were pretty bizarre. I mean, you never hear about it anymore, and you wonder, well, whatever happened to that? Because they were talking about. Well, they were saying like there was open land in the middle of this continent, this kind of thing. And I'll have to dig that clippings pile out, and I'll send you guys a copy there at InfoWars, because it was interesting. It's, half an inch thick of articles, around 1900, and around that time they were making all those explorations in the early 1900s, and they were reporting like regularly on what they were seeing in these overflights, and it. Pretty bizarre stuff,
What were they saying? What else they say they saw?
Well, they said they saw tropical, kind of environments, which didn't make sense, and so all of that. Yeah.
Or maybe it does make sense, but it doesn't make sense with the bullshit programming we got. That's why it doesn't make sense. If we got the right programming or the truth, then maybe it would make all the sense in the world.
About time. Time, who's the god of time? Kronos. Kronos is what? Black cube is Saturn. That's all I'm saying. Keep that in mind when you start seeing time stuff brought up. It's all part of the game, dude. Kronos, the god of time. Where do we get child sex trafficking? Where do we get sacrifices from? The myth of Kronos. Just keep that when you keep, and nothing against the doctor, of course, because.
Let me just go back to Dr. Begich here,
Okay.
and also go back to Dave Weiss. Dave, have you seen this stuff about the New York Times reporting tropical stuff? It was it Arctic or Antarctic that you're talking about?
Antarctic. It's the Antarctic. Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen that, all of our history.
And there's been a lot of movies, talking about Antarctica, like in many different movies. And, say what you want about movies, but damn, have they been predicting a lot of things in movies. A lot of things.
It appears that the lands that surround our world were tropical at one point. Things change. I don't know. I'm here now. I can't attest for it, but we're being lied to about everything on such a level. Good people that want to believe and would never lie have a hard time getting through those lies.
And again, I know I'm repeating this, but fuck, man. If we know they're liars, why do we keep believing their bullshit. You don't do that in your personal everyday life. When you expose somebody to being a bullshitter, you don't trust them. But I think there's this weird thing in society. Like, for example, if you talk about politicians, everybody knows, even the sheep knows that they're liars. Yet they keep playing the game with these politicians. You know what I mean? I think that has something to do with all of this. You know, this weird fucking thing about, yeah, we know they're liars, but we're still gonna play the game. We're gonna play the game. Yeah, all politicians are liars, but yet we're still gonna do the game. Yes. Some weird shit going on with that shit.
You know, and I think maybe some of it too is you get this trend of people who make their big breakthroughs and have a hard time sort of undoing them when new things come forward. And I think that's what happens in a lot of the sciences, quite frankly. I mean, you think about Clovis man in the United States, 13,000, 14,000. Yeah. Now we know better, 130,000 years old.
They tell us that we were at horse and buggies 150 years ago or whatever. And then you look at a place like Angkor Wat, which is an amazing. It's bigger than the pyramids in Egypt. We couldn't build it today if we wanted to. And instead of changing their theory about history, they go, "Oh, that's an anomaly," and they move on. That's not science. That's science.
Right.
Dude, this is
and I think we're seeing changes. I think in the archaeological community, a lot is going on there, and you look at some of the things that Graham Hancock had done over his 25 years, and now even the mainstream starting to report on some of these things that are pre-last glacial age, which all of that is really interesting to me because it certainly makes a lot more sense than the current narrative.
Well, sir, I think asking questions is important. Well, Dr. Nick Begich is here on the...
Of course. Asking questions is crucial. That's how you actually get to the truth. If you're going to get to the truth, you have to ask questions. Well, I don't know. What you just said doesn't make sense. Why did this, you know what I mean? Can you explain to me this thing? Because it doesn't make sense. You know, you have to ask questions like that.
Earth Extravaganza transmission on this Friday. Don't forget, I'll be back this Sunday here on the Flat Earth from 4 to 6 p.m. Central. One more segment with all of us, then Dr. Nick Begich takes over. But right now, it's the Tinfoil Hat Podcast.
Yes!
I agree.
I love that. That's hilarious.
Nice dragon.
You can make an animated series out of that motherfucker. Oh, I didn't say
You're never getting on Saturday Night Live, bro. You're done.
You know, you see, he just cursed there. And I don't know. There's just something with cursing. And I don't know, God might destroy me. I don't know. But there's just something, when you curse, there is some realness in there. Okay? It is. It's what, like if you hit your hand with a hammer, you're gonna fucking curse. No matter who you are. I don't know why, but you will curse in that moment. And that to me is an indication of there's something with cursing that is real. You know what I mean? I can't explain it, but it is something with it that brings a realness out. Fuck this shit. You know what I mean? Fuck. And I don't know, are they telling us cursing is bad so to soften us up? You know what I mean? To soften us up mentally. I don't know. I just know that I will have a hard time stop cursing throughout my life. Because sometimes I think it's necessary. You know what I mean? Like, you motherfucker. Like, let's say you're seeing a bad person doing something and you get pissed. And in that moment, nothing else will do than actually cursing. You motherfucker, I'm gonna fuck you up right now. You know what I mean? In that moment, nothing else works other than I'm gonna fuck you up.
Send it to my...
Do you legitimately have Tourette syndrome?
No.
Dude, he's got a song in his head. He wants it to rock. What's wrong with
All
that?
he wanted to be was a rock star, and said, "You're the jiu-jitsu king."
That sucks.
See how the Lord works in mysterious ways?
You're
a good musician.
The Lord works
And
in
actually, I'm
mysterious
not.
ways.
Yes, you
for
are.
sure.
Nobody plays keyboards like this.
All right, Dr. Nick Beggs is going to take over. We're going to have this gentleman back in. I said, "Come here and give us a presentation." He said, "No, American, you come to Dallas Flat Earth meeting." But we'll see if Dave Weiss will do that. But getting serious, Becca, one of our amazing researchers, and she's co-hosting some of the shows. She's a skydiver. She's pretty ninja-like, and she's seen that curve of the earth jumping out of that airplane at 10,000 feet. So
You have not seen
Okay,
it.
check this out. Check this out.
No, let woman talk.
Okay, go ahead.
You man been talking. Go ahead, lady, friend, go talk.
Go.
I put all those mics in. This was like, I put all these in for them to be on air. They won't go on air.
Yeah.
But I'm going to do every day, though, where we do this
can't
till
hear
they
her.
learn how to do it.
I
Oh,
would
you
like to-
can't get on? Okay.
Nope, we can't. hear.
Bye-bye, lady friend.
There we
All
go.
right, you guys can hear me now.
Yes.
Oh, oh.
I love the
Now you
conversation.
focus camera, dumb Americans.
So maybe one of you guys can answer this question for me because I've been skydiving. What about when you're up in a plane or skydiving, jumping out of a plane, you can see the curvature of the Earth? I'm just
You want me to
wondering what
answer
the
that?
explanation is. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Under Sharia law, you not talk. Shut up. That's a good point.
Go ahead.
See, the ladies help me.
Yeah.
That's an easy.
Thank you.
Go on.
Go ahead.
That's such an easy
Funny
one.
voice.
Even your high priest Neil deGrasse Tyson says that you can't see the curvature from twice the height of an airplane. I
See
think
my high priest?
we've sent balloons up to 120,000 feet, or the horizon's flat. What you're seeing?
Wait a minute. I mean, you can see the curvature.
Hang
when
on,
you're in an
hang on,
airplane.
Alex. Let me
No,
explain.
You high
Let me
priest.
explain.
You can't,
We
dude.
we see in the same whatever our viewing distance is. That's what it is in all directions. So if you plot points all around, that's like putting your head in the middle of a hula hoop and you see the edge of that hula hoop. You're seeing a curve.
Dude,
Because
you're
you're
crazy,
seeing
Alex.
X number of miles in all
I'm
directions.
crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not
And your
Alex.
brain
I'm-
tells
I mean, Alex is a little bit disrespectful, I think, towards Dave, man. You know what I mean? Obviously, you can see that Dave is not an idiot. You know what I mean? Like, I could see Alex behaving that way if Dave was an idiot. But obviously, Dave is not an idiot. So therefore, this is a little bit disrespectful. You know what I mean? Like, why the fuck? What are you doing, man? I mean, yes, it's funny, la 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 la. But, you know, it's disrespectful. You know what I mean?
It's an
that
old Chinese dragon.
that is a fear.
Well, look, let me finish. There's all these amateur balloons with cameras going up at to 120,000 feet. That's as high as they can go. And there's all this footage all over the internet of at 120,000 feet, it's flat. Now planes go up 35,000.
Yeah.
Right. So Neil deGrasse Tyson was asked. It's on. You can watch it on YouTube. Ask him, how come there's no curvature at 120,000 feet? Does that prove that the Earth is flat? Neil deGrasse Tyson said, dude, at 120,000 feet, that's not high enough to see any curve. At 120,000 feet, it's flat. He goes, that thing is flat at
Yeah, I've seen
120.
that video.
So anybody saying that they see the curve from a plane, that's 35.
What's up, James?
You think you're seeing the curve, but you don't. Neil deGrasse Tyson said,
I
that's
agree.
your boy. That's your boy. He said, you can't see curve
That's
at
your boy.
120,000 feet.
He's my high priest. Okay.
He's your boy,
Guys,
dog.
I don't just.
That's your boy.
I don't just sit
Shout
there
out
and
your boy.
I don't just believe
Alex,
whatever
final
propaganda
word.
you put up.
Final word.
Hey,
Alex.
listen, final word, and then I got to get
Dave, was I right? Was I right with that, Dave?
Absolutely, 100%. Thank you.
Dr. Nick Baggage, hold on. You finished now, Mr. Wise.
So
You guys are having fun Friday. I know. This is what
Send
it
it
is.
to my phone.
I accept your offer to come into the studio and do a presentation. I hope you accept mine to come to the conference, fe2019.com, November 14th and 15th in Texas. Joey's coming. Listen, it's not my conference.
You're the biggest plugger on earth. Why are you dogging him?
And I invite
He's trying to
people
give you information.
Sorry.
Go to my website, look at the videos, download the Flat Earth Sun and Moon Clock if you want. Each day you'll get a new video, and then you'll know. Right now, people can't even describe the Earth that they live on.
They don't. You're not a gnome alien lying to me.
You don't. You'd have to check it out.
Yeah, good answer.
I think you're a Galaxian.
Point.
All right,
Hey, I'm coming on your show whenever you're ready.
I love you. Thank you, sir. All right, I gotta
you're gonna for sure bring them back. You're gonna bring them back. You said you'd bring them
you keep
in the
bullying
studio.
me.
Yeah, I
In the
wonder
age of
if it
social
did.
media censorship, questioning whether or not the Earth is a globe has been deemed harmful thought. But why is this?
Exactly.
We seem to be conditioned to think that the issue has been scientifically settled. But this is not the case. Our most popular scientists recognize that the geocentric model, where the Earth is at the center of the universe...
Wait, what did it say? Quote, 2 sentences. The sun is at rest and the Earth moves, or the sun moves and the Earth is at rest, are simply 2 different conventions concerning 2 different coordinate systems. Einstein.
is observably accurate.
We can take either the Earth or the Sun as the center of the solar system, says this guy. Whoever that is. When you look at the CMB map, what is that? You see that the structure is correlated with the plane of the Earth around the Sun. That would say we are truly the center of the universe, says this guy.
Edwin Hubble and Stephen Hawking went as far as to say that they reject the geocentric model not based on scientific reasoning, but rather because they find the thought of being at the center of the universe to be emotionally disturbing. Physicist George Ellis stated that you cannot disprove the geocentric model. You can only exclude it on philosophical grounds. The Michelson-Morley experiment in the 1880s proved the Earth was stationary, and Albert Einstein claimed this was a serious embarrassment and intended to disprove it with his relativity theory, but later admitted that he had failed to do so.
I don't know, I've heard about this guy, Einstein, that he is not smart at all, that he's just a clown. I mean, I know looks can be deceiving, but if looks was not deceiving, maybe he was a clown. I don't know.
Disprove it with his relativity theory, but later admitted that he had failed to do so. We are conditioned to think that the heliocentric model is scientifically superior to the geocentric model. But when we apply scientific reasoning, we discover that this is not true. Contrary to popular thought, the scientific community has disputed the heliocentric model for centuries, such as the Earth's curvature. According to the heliocentric Earth model, the Earth is 24,000 miles in circumference, and if one were standing at sea level, they should only be able to see less than 3 miles before the surface of the Earth curves out of view. But this has been proven to be false for centuries, from the Bedford Level experiments of 1838 to modern photography. This photograph of Chicago was taken almost 60 miles away from Grand Mere State Park in Michigan. On a spherical Earth, this would be impossible. Using the Pythagorean theorem and the current dimensions of the Earth, the top of the tallest skyscraper should be 900 feet below the observable horizon.
And also, what about this so-called perfect sphere that they're showing us? I don't believe it. I don't believe it, man.
The top of the tallest skyscraper should be 900 feet below the observable horizon. Local news explained this anomaly by claiming the image was a mirage.
And what you're seeing here is a mirage. We typically would not be able to see this from the Lake Michigan shore. We talked about this last night. Conditions are right on the lake that we're actually seeing a mirage.
They claimed that somehow light refraction and perfect weather conditions are responsible for creating a photorealistic mirage of the Chicago skyline, a appearing to sit on the flat horizon from almost 60 miles away. Anomalies in the Earth's curvature can also be found in old lighthouses, able to be seen for several miles past what is possible on the heliocentric model, and weapons guidance systems that are capable of sighting targets that would only...
Also, what about, you know, these fucking military airplanes that go like supersonic speed? You know, these fucking super fast airplanes. You mean to tell me that those airplanes, while they're traveling in sonic speed, that they're simultaneously dipping their nose constantly while going in supersonic speed? Like that. Is that what you're telling me? Because I'm not buying that bullshit. Straight up. Or it's just as simple as they're traveling supersonic speed on a fucking plane, man. On a fucking plane.
Only be possible on a flat plane. We are accustomed to observing ships disappearing over the curve, but with modern consumer cameras, we can observe that this seems to be an optical illusion based on light reflection and the laws of perspective. Many of us tend to think the planet is too big to observe curvature, but the empirical evidence tells us that either the surface of the Earth is a flat plane or the planet is at least 100 times bigger than we are told. Another very intriguing argument for flat earthers is Antarctica, the mysterious massive continent at our southern pole that nobody is allowed to explore. After sailing over 60,000 miles along the Antarctic coastline, Captain Cook was never able to complete the journey around the ice continent, which is supposed to be just under 12,000 miles around. Neither was James Clark Ross or the British ship Challenger. Nobody has ever successfully circumnavigated Antarctica. Many so-called flat earthers claim that these attempts failed because Antarctica is actually a massive ice barrier that surrounds the flat surface of the Earth. The azimuthal equidistant projection map, produced by the U.S. Geological Survey, has been used for centuries for the fact that all directions or azimuths are correct and all distances are at true scale. Studying this map, one can clearly see how man has been able to accurately circumnavigate the Earth on a flat plane model. And if it is in fact accurate, then it explains why after 60,000 miles, nobody has been able to completely circumnavigate Antarctica. Interestingly, this is also the map used by the United Nations. Admiral Richard Byrd, Medal of Honor winner, youngest admiral in the history of the Navy, and recipient of 3 ticker tape parades in his honor, led 4 expeditions to Antarctica. The 4th being a military operation known as Operation High Jump, with an aircraft carrier group, 4,700 men, 13 support ships.
Why is it called High Jump? Are they jumping over the ice wall? Why is it called High Jump?
And 33 aircraft. Their stated mission was to establish the Antarctic Research Base Little America 4, but many believe the true nature of the secret mission was to root out the Nazis who arrived in 1939, claiming New Swabia and setting up a Nazi presence in Antarctica. In 1954, Admiral Richard Byrd spoke on TV of an area bigger than the United States with valuable resources and announced a future of international...
With valuable resources.
exploration.
Our very distinguished guest for this evening is Admiral Richard E. Byrd.
Strangely enough, there's left in the world today an area as big as the United States that's never been seen by a human being.
Are we just gonna dismiss that? Are we just gonna dismiss this guy as a crazy guy for saying that?
And that's beyond the pole on the other side of the South Pole from Middle America.
You see, he didn't say North Pole. He said South Pole. Yeah, South. That's where the wall is. Yeah, that's right.
Found enough coal within 180 miles of the South Pole in a great ridge of mountains.
And that wouldn't be possible on the ball bullshit. Where could you place that continent that was as big as the U.S. on the fucking bullshit Santa Claus for adults fairy tale that is the globe?
Covered with snow, enough to supply the whole world for quite a while. And I think it's quite astonishing that there should be an area as big as that unexplored.
That's a tremendous
So
challenge.
there's a lot of adventure left down at the bottom of the world.
Well, Admiral, do you hope to see
Yes, and that's why they had to tell us it's a ball so we don't go looking for that fucking continent right there.
I do. So I'm willing to say to you that there will be a number of expeditions that will follow, I think, year after year, at the bottom of the world, because the government has really become interested.
But this never happened. In 1957...
Oh, did he die? Hold on. Nation mourns Admiral Byrd.
This never happened.
They're like, get rid of that guy quickly.
In 1957, Admiral Byrd died in his sleep of a heart ailment at the age of 68. And on December 1st, 1959, all 12 countries active in Antarctica signed a United Nations treaty that outlawed all public travel south of the 60th southern parallel. This was the same time that NASA was formed. The world's attention was pulled away from exploring Antarctica and directed firmly on the moon. In 1962, a series of high-altitude nuclear tests was carried out by the United States. It was called Operation Fishbowl, which has caught the curiosity of many flat Earth researchers because the flat Earth model shared by the ancients was one where we lived within a sphere, upon a flat surface, and surrounded by a massive dome, like a fishbowl, or The Truman Show. In 2012, The Secret Lost Diary of Admiral Richard E. Byrd was published, wherein Admiral Byrd allegedly claimed to enter a hollow Earth through a hole in the center of Antarctica and meet with an advanced alien civilization. The diary provides no evidence of being authentic, and many would suggest that it portrays the distinguished admiral as a crackpot and strange tales of Antarctica as fantasy. To this day, the public is strictly prohibited from traveling below the 60th southern parallel.
You don't say.
Nobody has ever completely circumnavigated Antarctica, and airplanes are prohibited from flying over the icy continent. What are they hiding? There is now talk of investing trillions of dollars to explore Mars. Why not Antarctica? If sharing videos about flat Earth is harmful, why not put it all to rest?
What was it? YouTube deletes, what was it? YouTube to delete thousands of accounts after it bans supremacists, conspiracy theorists, and other harmful users. Users that promote ideas such as flat Earth and fake cures for illnesses will be hidden.
Put it all to rest by circumnavigating Antarctica, documenting everything, and prove that the Earth is a spinning globe. For InfoWars.com, this is Greg Reese.
The word flat Earth, the idea of flat Earth, is so thick in the ether right now, you can't get away from it. You know, it's like when the story is when the sewing machine was made, it was invented by like a dozen people all across the world at the same time. Because the idea, the need, the thoughts were out there. Flat Earth is out there. Like, you go up to anybody in 2014 or earlier and say, you ever think the Earth is flat? They're going to go, you're a friggin' idiot. Go to school. Get out of your mother's basement. Now, you go to anybody outside and goes, what do you think of flat Earth? You got an over a 50% chance the person goes, I've heard some things. I still think the Earth is a globe, but I've heard some things. What do you know? Right? That's what you're going to get. Okay? It's out there. We are at the tipping point. At the tipping point.
I agree. It's starting to become, I think this is what we as humans, we get used to and accustomed to pretty much everything. Just look at the last 3 years. That was ridiculous. If anybody told you before it happened that the last 3 years were about to happen, pretty much everybody on the globe would have called you a nutcase for saying, hey, listen, in about a month or so, let's say 6 months from now, they're going to lock shit down, man. They're going to lock everything down. You're going to put on a mouth diaper. You won't be able to go out from your own house. And when you go to the store, they will have a lot of arrows pointing you on how to walk and shit like that. And then at the end of it, they're going to force you to either take a, one of these shots, or you will lose your work or whatever. And if you told that to a regular normie, they would have ridiculed you up the ass. But it happened, didn't it? But anyways, what I mean is, we get used to stuff, and I think people they're starting to get over the, there's still people ridiculing you if you talk about flat earth, but more or less it's starting to become like, you kind of used to that thing. So I agree with Dave. It's getting to a tipping point. I see a lot of people on Twitter being flat earthers. You know what I mean? It just keeps growing and growing and growing, man. And it wouldn't grow unless it has truth in it. You know what I mean? That's why the lizard people changed the frequency from 432 hertz. It could heal us. Think of those 500 plus year old churches acoustics. They're still amazing today. Yeah, it's just something with the churches, right? Maybe they do have healing stuff. Alexander Emmerich Jones III is most likely my biological father. God. Oh, you mean Alex Jones? Is that who you're talking about? Is Alex Jones your biological father, Sayre? God bless this man and protect him from the pot-bellied goblin demons who attack him. I agree. Movies are the Luciferians' way of disclosing their plans. I totally agree with that shit. It's no way that they just happen to get shit, predict shit right. No, they knew what they were doing when they made these movies. Back in the days, man. Back in the days. They probably had these technologies for God knows how long. They just drip it out to us, making us think it's organic. Oh, we come up with this. We came up with that. Bullshit. They had it all. They had it all, and they just made us think they didn't have the technology and that we came up with it. To lessen their karmic retribution, because even they know the law, you reap what you sow. Yeah, there seems to be something to that. The universal law, natural law. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Matthew 7:7. Paul said he considered the money and things of this world all dung, but he has Christ and that's all he need. Oh yeah, that was sup drop. All right, folks. Alex talked that way to everyone. He even does it to himself. He doesn't do it to everyone. Yes, sir. There is an illusion, but it's there. They don't believe in him. It's a jet plane, Africa. Oh yeah, that's the bot right there. I know you. How can I block this bot? I'm gonna block you. I don't want to see your ass again. Can't stop the meme. I'm gonna stop you right now, motherfucker. I'm gonna stop you right now. How do I stop him? Yeah, like that. Bye, can't stop the meme. I just stopped you, man. Just stopped you. Yeah, that was fun. Gonna do more? I love Flat Earth Dave's different streams. He's great. He's absolutely great.